fellas, I think, like, we're in this world of podcasting and you do shows, and sometimes you can get yourself in position to where you do have to make a stand. Then you have to make a decision of how you're going to behave, whether it be on your show or somebody else's. James Duncan and Fahad Duwanu, who have a very popular podcast in the UK, and it does like relationships, they read tweets and about stories. They were sitting with Andrew Schulz, and they started talking about the black woman effect. And they were mostly talking about, like in the Travis Kelce case, right? The fade, the beard, stuff like that. And Andrew Schulz said it's a defense mechanism. And he said, you know, because you might get beat. And he also said that some of what they did was in protection because they were always complaining. And the other two, the two black men just sat and laughed. I think
the context was it was a joke. It was a joke, and he was like, "Oh, you got hair on your head, so just in case you get slapped, or the beard, just in case you get." And so it was a joke. But I thought, first of all, I thought that comedians was, when somebody is telling a joke, that comedians is off the board. That we don't all of a sudden become super offended because everybody's supposed to get these jokes. And where does it end? And the largest jokes come from stereotypes and sometimes even truth, which is one of the things that made Dave Chappelle so hilarious, because his way of making a joke out of the things that we laugh about or that we know about but nobody is willing to speak about is pretty hilarious. On top of that, you know, when Dave Chappelle started catching hell from other groups like the trans community, right? Like, it's a lot of people that was giving Dave Chappelle hell. But guess what? People came to Dave Chappelle's defense because we've always considered comedians off. You know what I'm saying? They are off the board. You can't do that to them. You can't hold them accountable in the same way. Why? Because everybody is supposed to be able to get these jokes. And when you start that precedent and you start having that conversation and you start saying, okay, well, wait a minute, no, this group is more special than the other, then it's going to start becoming a problem, in my opinion. But let's continue.
they've taken a lot of backlash for that. Obviously, Andrew Schulz had taken backlash for it. What are your thoughts on being in that sort of situation and how to handle it?
I would first say, you know, I've dabbled in the comedic side of things, and you push your envelope with that. But with that, I don't know how y'all feel. I've never heard of the black woman effect, because that's all I've dated. So I don't know if there's a white woman effect, Indian woman effect, Asian woman effect, but to
it absolutely is. It's a joke that's on all groups, but we ain't gonna worry about it. We gonna focus on this.
To speak on black women like that, that's all I was raised around. That's all I've ever dated. That's all I know. That's all my, you know, all I've been married to. Obviously, only been married once. But there are certain things you can't do. And so with Schulz, it doesn't have to be combative and fighting and getting up acting crazy. But I think those dudes should have pushed back. I think maybe their culture, the European black dude culture, might be different than ours. But when I did see it, it upset me, because the whole thing about, argumentative black women and all this stuff, I think it's a stigma that people put on black women.
That's very, very true. That's very, very true. See, you know, I'm not the one to mince words. I'm not one to try to be politically correct. I just go based off of what people are really experiencing in real life. It is a real thing. It's real. It's not a stigma. Most stereotypes are rooted in some sort of truth.
Put on my black sisters, put on my wife, put on my black family members that I don't like.
Right.
I like a strong woman. If some bitch ass dudes can't deal with a strong woman and they say that's argumentative or combative, then go get you a weak woman, go get you a do-girl. But that's what I'm saying. If you're saying that, I'll push back and say, you don't want a strong woman. You don't want somebody that can run.
See how the simping comes out? And I get it. You know, I think that the dudes from that generation, I don't even know how old they are. They can't be that old. They must not. Come on. We shouldn't even be doing this. They not that old. He shouldn't be simping like this. I think most of these guys from these out here, regardless of what their status is, what they did for a living, or how much money they got, They gonna simp out. And now we go in that community. I'm not even a guy, like I've never been to an Andrew Schulz show, or I'm not even subscribed to any of his podcasts or anything like that. But real is real and fair is fair. But the simping is out of control.
Thing you want somebody that can push back. You want somebody that's opinionated. You just want a yes woman, and I can't deal with nobody with a yes woman. So I do think it was cultural when I saw it and saw them European dudes. I think they're built different than American black dudes are, and I don't know how y'all feel about it. And I do think I felt a certain way about them disrespecting the black women that I love and that I know.
Yeah, I think I would agree with you, Chan.
I guarantee you, most of the black women that you love and that you know don't even watch that.
I just want to say, I believe those guys were just happy to be in that moment. Andrew Schulz, maybe in their eyes, is a big get, right? We've had some huge people or guests on our show that we still challenge them. Like, we still ask them questions. I believe when he made the reference to black women, I don't think he should have been in a position to say that. I'm usually a fan of of Schulz. I mean, I think I like his comedy style. He's usually pretty creative. I think in that particular moment, he shouldn't have spoke on another race in that manner, right? There's some truth in comedy. I think a lot of comedians hide behind what they really feel and want to say and chop it up as a joke. In this particular instance, it's not a joke. Like, we take that serious. There have been plenty of times where RC said, you know, hey, we have to protect black women.
We are the most sensitive yet disrespectful group of people that's on the face of the earth, and that's just real. I don't align with people based off of the color of their skin. I align with people based off of the content of their character. And when you interviewing somebody in particular, and I don't know what the dynamics of or what they was doing on that show, but when you interviewing somebody, I'm not there to debate you. I'm there to get out all of the information that I possibly can and have a good time, and then let the audience decide whether or not they are right or wrong. That's the true greatness in an interviewer, in my personal opinion, right? But we are the most sensitive group of people. Look, we could say anything about anybody whenever. If you've never been in a black household on Thanksgiving, when a black man brings a black woman or a black woman brings a white man to Thanksgiving dinner, and then the conversations that happens after they leave, you haven't seen evil. You haven't seen ugly speak. You haven't seen racism until you've been in that room. And I'm pretty sure that it happens in all races and stuff like that. But man, when are we going to take this sensitivity off of our shoulders? Why? What is this? Like, what is this? You can't say it because I'm going to be offended. I'm so easily offended by what you say, but this group of people, it can be as disrespectful as ever. You know, it's so funny. Even during the Black Lives Matters things, people are so quick to talk about the atrocities to happen when they think it's happening from another group. But black lives don't even matter when we happen to each other. Your own women call they homegirls bitch. We use the N-word like it's going out of style. I guarantee you we use the N-word way more than anybody that came before us. Nobody blinks an eye. Look, you can defend your snap neck. I want to get into a combative situation. Guys is tired of that. And that simping is out of style. It is gone. It is out of style in every way, shape, and form. Let me let them continue.
You know, I want to protect all women, but certainly because I was raised by a black woman and I know their plight. You know, I know that they're a devil minority for a reason. Like, the challenges that they face and the stuff that they've gone through, not simply just from society, but being the highest percentage of a single parent. You know, the black women, they go through hell.
That's a self-inflicted wound.
And we have to find the best means of protecting them. And that's even in this particular moment, you know, speaking to a comedian as Andrew Schulz, who, again, I thought it's a dope comedian, right? I like his creativity and comedy, but Don't say that, man. You can't do that. Don't do our women like that. Like, if it's gonna be done, let the women do it. Let them say they're tough, and let them say they hold their men accountable. There's not necessarily a place for you to turn that into a joke. That's my 2 cents on it. I don't want to dive deeper into it, but just bad timing for you, and hopefully it's only a joke, and we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I think the first thing is, when you think about the two podcasters from the UK, is we don't know if the black experience there is the same as the black experience for African Americans or black people that grew up in America. I'm sure to be on this media tour in the US and to sit with Andrew Schulz was a big thing for them. I don't care if it was a big thing. And in addressing Andrew Schulz, who I do think is funny, who sits with Charlemagne and has some of these discussions about the culture, I believe he got too comfortable. So I would like to explain some things to him. I want to explain to him the black experience, the black woman experience from my point of view. It was watching my mother start from a bank teller and work her way up for decades to run her own collateral department, only to be mistreated when the bank was sold to another bank, and be so sick on Sunday that I finally had to say, hey mom, you're old enough to retire. It was to see her go to that same job, 8 to 5, to be treated anyway that she had to be treated because she only had a high school diploma, and then find ways to not only feed me, but do homework with me and my brother, take us to practice because my dad worked 3 jobs. That was the...
What does this have to do with the price of tea in China? What does this have to do with the bad attitude? What does this got to do with me getting slapped? What does this have to do with anything whatsoever? Anybody. Maybe I'm off. Maybe I missed it. Maybe I'm completely out of the loop. But I'm trying to understand, bro, everybody struggles. Everybody got stuff that they go through. Everybody is under the boot and the heel of Kamala Harris and the Biden administration right now. I'm curious as to what y'all think. I plan on having a deeper conversation with this on the Monday night show. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Also, Teach Hanley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off for life. And then last but not least, make sure you get your tickets. Discount code Anton. I'm going to be in your city in Atlanta. That link is in the description. And Detroit, November 2nd, December 14th. We getting it popping. Let me know what y'all think. Are the dudes from the Pivot simping? Or are they really communicating an effective line about what the black experience is for women? Let me know. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.